Hello and welcome to the new tutorial series of the Unreal Engine 4 Blueprint Scripting. I'm going to show you, from the very beginning, how to program in Unreal blueprints and how to do it properly. No programming skills are required at this point because blueprints are very friendly for beginners. In this video, I will cover the following topics: how to create a new project from a third-person template, how to move around the editor, how to create basic on-command teleport, and how to set up sprinting for the main character. Keep in mind that this video is aimed at the beginner programmers. The first few videos will likely contain massive simplifications but will be later more broadly described. Let's jump to the editor right away. Let's create a basic project from a game template. We will use a third-person game for now. In this section, we leave all the default settings. Here you can set the folder in which the project will be located. Now set the name of the project. I will call it YouTube Tutorial. Now click the Create Project button and wait until it loads. Let's stop here for a moment. This is the main editor window. In the center, there is a game viewport. The bottom panel is the content browser window. We will use it to navigate around project files and folders. Turn on the project tree view by clicking this button. On the right side, there is a world outliner. It lists everything that the level is made out of. Inside a level, or for now let's call it more appropriately, a scene, you can place actors. An actor is an object that can be placed on the scene. Actors are made out of components, but we will talk about it later. On the left side, you can see the Edit Modes panel. There are few edit modes here, but for now, let's just drag a basic cube into the game window. You can move it around using the arrows. Notice the different colors of the three axes. Now hit the play button. You can move around using W, S, A, and D keys and jump using the spacebar. I will stretch the game window using the F11 key. Enough gaming for now. Use the Escape key to quit the game session. To move around inside the game viewport, hold the right mouse button, and move your mouse. Now keep holding the button and press W, S, A, and D keys to move the camera. So let's say that I want my character to teleport on top of the cube when I press the X key. The logic behind the keyboard events is implemented inside the main character's blueprint. This is a basic way to handle inputs, such as the previously mentioned X key. In the future, we will do it more professionally, but for now, let's just open the main character's blueprint. Click on the main character and then on this blue Edit Blueprint button. We're inside the blueprint now. What we see in the middle is the event graph. Its purpose is to tell the game what to do when some events occur. You can move around inside the graph by holding the right mouse button. Use mouse scroll to zoom in or out. As you can see, there are some events on the graph already. They implement the basic player movement. There is also a viewport tab. A viewport allows you to view and edit your actors' visuals. As I mentioned earlier, actors are made out of components. Each component has a different purpose. This actor, which is a third-person character, is made out of the components that are listed here. We're not going to dive into this right now. Let's go back to the event graph and implement the teleport logic. Find a free space inside the graph and press the right mouse button once to bring up the context menu. Now search for Input key. We have to find the X key input event. Once you click it, an event node pops up on the graph. Now click left mouse button on the pressed pin and pull it outside. Once you release the button, another context menu pops out. We're now searching for the Set Actor Location node. There are some pins on the node, but we're only interested in the new location. These input pins are called function parameters. A function is a piece of code, or in our case, piece of blueprint logic, that is responsible for a certain thing. It's like teaching a computer how to interpret a command name. In this case, simply speaking, a computer was taught what to do, or how to interpret command set actor location. Back to the parameters. What a function will do is dependent on the parameters. The set actor location function moves an actor to the specified location. A location is a 3D vector, meaning that it's a pack of 3 numbers, or as we programmers call it, a structure of 3 numbers. These numbers are 3D coordinates. What we have to do now is to look up the location of the cube we placed earlier. The z-axis is the height, so we have to increase its value a little bit. Now that we have it programmed, I want you to know how this works. This white line, connected to the white pins, determines execution flow. When you press the X key, the event is sent a single impulse down the pressed execution pin. This means that whatever is connected to this pin, each node down the execution line will be executed one after another. You can connect the next node here and it will be executed right after the set actor location. The same thing happens to the released execution pin when we release the X key, however, we will leave it unconnected for now. After we change something inside a blueprint, we have to compile it. The compilation is a process that translates this fancy-looking blueprint to a highly efficient instruction set that is readable for a computer but most likely not for humans. It's far more complex than that, but this is all you have to know about it now. Let's try it out. As you can see, the teleport works fine. Now let's move to the sprinting. Simply speaking, I want my character to speed up a little bit when I hold the left shift. Character movement is a quite complex topic. Luckily, there is a bundled character movement component in the Unreal Engine 4 that does pretty much everything for us. Click on the character movement component. This window right here contains the properties of the component. Character speed is determined by the max walk speed value. Right now it's set to 600. Let's play with it a little bit. Change it to 100 and see how it influenced the movement. The character is walking very slowly. Now let's change it to 900. The character is running faster than with speed set to 600. But this change was a static one, meaning that it was done manually once, before the game even started. I want it to change dynamically when I press or release the left shift key. Before we start, we have to set the max walk speed back to the default value. Let's begin with the same thing we done before. We search for input shift this time. The max walk speed is a variable that is located inside the character movement component. To access it, we have to reference the component. Drag the component to the graph, it will create the reference node. Now pull out a wire from the reference output pin, release the left mouse button and in the context menu, search for Set Max Walk Speed. Connect it to the pressed pin. Do the same to the released pin. Now set up the values. When the left shift is pressed, we want our character to sprint, so we pick some higher value, for example 1200. When the left shift is released, we change it back to the default speed of 600. This is all that we had to do. Compile the blueprint and see how it works. Keep in mind that this is very basic scripting. Yes, it could have been done better, however, I want to keep it as simple as possible for now. We will make it more professional in the future. In the next episode, I will show you variables and teach you how to use them. Thank you for watching.